The scale says you've lost 8 pounds. Your body fat percentage hasn't moved at all. That's not a fluke, and it's not bad luck. It's what happens when you lose weight the wrong way, and it's happening to more people than you'd think, including plenty who are doing everything right. Here's the problem. Most people treat the scale like it's a fat tracker. It's not. It's a total mass tracker. Muscle, water, food in your stomach, glycogen, even hydration levels all show up in that number. When you crash diet, cut carbs hard, or just undereat without a plan, a big chunk of that dropping number is water and muscle, not fat. You feel lighter, you look softer, not leaner, and a few weeks later your metabolism has slowed down and the number stops moving entirely. Sound familiar? Stick around, because the fix isn't eating less, it's targeting the right thing in the first place. Think about the last time you dropped weight fast, then plateaued hard a few weeks later, even though you didn't change a thing. That plateau isn't your metabolism betraying you, it's usually the predictable result of losing weight from the wrong sources first. Let's start with why the scale lies to you so easily. Your body is roughly 60% water, and that water level shifts constantly, with sodium intake, carb intake, sleep, stress, even the time of day. Carbs alone are stored in your muscles bound to water at a ratio of about 3 grams of water for every gram of stored carbohydrate. Cut carbs hard for a week, and you can drop several pounds of pure water before you've burned a single gram of actual fat. Most people don't realize that early success on a new diet is almost always water weight. It feels amazing. It's also the reason so many diets get abandoned a month in, because once the water's gone, fat loss slows to its real, much slower pace, and people assume the diet stopped working. Picture someone who starts a low-carb diet on a Monday and steps on the scale Friday to see a 5-pound drop. That feels like proof the diet is working brilliantly. In reality, most of that 5 pounds is glycogen-bound water leaving storage. Actual fat loss over 4 days, even in an aggressive deficit, is realistically closer to half a pound to a pound. The gap between what people expect and what's biologically possible is exactly where disappointment and diet hopping begins. But here's the surprising part. The second thing hiding in that dropping number is muscle. And this is the one that actually hurts you long term. When you're in a large calorie deficit, without enough protein, and without resistance training, your body doesn't selectively burn fat. It breaks down muscle tissue for energy too, especially if it thinks food is scarce. This is where almost everyone makes a mistake. They cut calories aggressively and skip the gym, thinking rest will save muscle. It won't. Muscle is metabolically expensive tissue, and without a reason to keep it, like a lifting signal, your body treats it as expendable. Losing muscle while dieting creates a brutal cycle. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, which means you need to eat even less to keep losing weight, which makes it even harder to preserve what muscle you have left. It's a bit like burning furniture to heat a house instead of using firewood. Sure, it keeps you warm short term, but you've destroyed something that was actually useful long term. And next winter you have even less to work with. So what actually targets fat instead of muscle and water? 3 things, and none of them are complicated. First, protein. Eating enough protein while you're in a calorie deficit is the single biggest signal you can send your body to hold on to muscle instead of burning it for fuel. This is the same principle that matters even outside of dieting. Your body prioritizes tissue it's actively using. Most research on dieting individuals points to somewhere around 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight as the range that best protects muscle during a deficit. Second, resistance training. Lifting weights, even 2 to 3 times a week, tells your body this muscle is still needed, which shifts the deficit toward fat stores instead. You don't need to live in the gym, you need consistent, moderate intensity strength work, hitting the major muscle groups often enough that your body has a reason to keep them. Third, a moderate deficit instead of an extreme one. The next point is even more important than it sounds. Aggressive deficits speed up muscle loss because your body panics faster under severe restriction. A moderate deficit, generally somewhere around 15 to 25% below your maintenance calories, loses fat at a slower but far more sustainable rate, while protecting muscle far better than crash dieting ever will. This changes everything about how you should judge progress. The scale alone can't tell fat loss from muscle loss from water shifts. That's why body fat percentage, how your clothes fit, progress photos, and even measurements around your waist tell a more honest story than the number under your feet. One important note here. If you have an existing medical condition, are pregnant, or are new to structured training, it's worth checking in with a doctor or a qualified coach before changing your calorie intake or starting a new lifting routine. Your ideal deficit and training load can vary quite a bit based on your individual health picture. Put it together and the pattern is simple. Fast weight loss without protein and without training is mostly water and muscle. Slower, steady fat loss with enough protein and consistent resistance work is mostly what you actually wanted in the first place. A leaner body, not just a smaller number. Let's recap the biggest lessons. The scale measures total mass, not fat. Water and muscle can hide inside a successful number on the scale. Protein and resistance training are what protect your muscle while you lose fat. And a moderate, sustainable deficit beats an extreme one almost every time. Here's your one action for today. Instead of only checking the scale this week, take a photo, a waist measurement, or track how your clothes fit, and compare that to the number. You might be a lot leaner than the scale is telling you. It's about losing the right thing, so what's left behind is the body you're actually working for. If this changed how you'll look at the scale from now on, that's exactly the kind of shift BodyForge Hub exists to create. Subscribe for more science-backed breakdowns like this one, and turn on notifications so the next one doesn't slip past you.